Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, bringing you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports fan. I am your host, JP.
Hey yo.
610 Beach from the Southeast Mr. Country K showing up a little bit later, as always, and with us on this Friday to talk more Formula One going into Silverstone this weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
Here we go. Money talk.
Please welcome back to the show, CJP, the Formula One guy. What's up, bro? Can you hear me? You're muted.
I don't know why I'm muted.
I muted you because I could hear you over the intro
So
thing.
you
Not
forgot
supposed
to
to.
unmute me.
Well, yes. Sorry. That's my fault.
Thanks, bro.
We got Silverstone this weekend, man.
Yes, sir.
One of the bigger races of the year outside of Monaco. Um, Practice has gone on already. But to kind of recap what had happened at the Red Bull Ring last week, Max Verstappen absolutely dominated once again. Um, Charles Leclerc came in second, and Sergio Perez he started at 15th, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Started at 15th, ended up making podium at the number 3 spot, which I'm sure gives you a little bit of pressure with
He
Checo.
should have been second.
Well, if he started in 14th, maybe.
No.
I mean, he was. Looks like from here he was. God, I want to say 7 seconds slower than Leclerc.
Yeah.
Because Leclerc is 0.5, and then you got Sergio at plus 17. Yeah, I saw a video the other day of like the real distance between Max and the rest of the racers.
Yeah. It's
And it
miles.
showed him coming. Showed him coming around a corner, and then just kind of
Yeah. Whole
sitting there patiently
28
waiting.
seconds behind. Just they don't even show Max before the next
So, yep,
fucking car comes around.
so
Half a minute.
just sitting there waiting, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's how far he is from
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, he again, he dominated the track, and then you had Lando who came in fourth, good for him. Alonso fifth. Sainz came in sixth. George Russell shafted and went seventh. Lewis Hamilton shafted just a little bit more and went to eighth. Stroll in ninth. Gasly in 10th. And then the rest of the hey, Logan Sargent didn't shunt. Came in 13. Good for him.
I mean, he shouldn't have shunted. It's a fairly straightforward track.
I
Besides
saw
all the
something the
track.
other day.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day that says Logan Sargent stinks so bad that it makes you miss Latifi.
At least he's not crashing other drivers, though. You know what I
He's just
mean?
crashing himself.
And it's most of the time, I don't even think he's crashed. I think he's just either DNF'd or he's coming last. You know what I mean? And not from a crash. I mean, like engine failure or some shit going on with the car.
Yeah.
It has cost him a lot of money, though.
A lot of money that they can't really afford.
But today in free practice, came in fifth. Williams showing some pace there.
Oh. Are they hiding any?
No.
Got it. All I needed to know.
Their race pace is I mean, for what they did today, for qualifying tomorrow, they'll be, if they qualify like they did today, that probably puts them in the top 10, maybe. But again, it's
But it'll be Albon instead of
probably Albon. But Nick DeVries, that's the kind of guy you think about him, and then you're like, well, might as well just take Nikita Mazepin back, because holy shit, holy shit.
You see what I'm saying? Like some of these racers that we say, damn, these guys stink, and then new guys come in and they're even worse. And God, okay, maybe they weren't as bad as we thought.
And Latifi wasn't even new. That's the thing.
No, Latifi had always stunk, but I mean, it does make you kind of go, huh. Let's see. So going into um, Silverstone, British Grand Prix, uh, Max Verstappen in the free practice, Carlos Sainz, Albon coming in third.
So I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, again, look, we had this discussion last week, okay, and that made me start to think because then I started looking back at times in practice compared to qualifying,
Yeah, it's like a few seconds
and
faster.
yeah,
So
this
they
is
probably ran
nothing.
their qualifying setup today that maybe puts them in their top 10.
Maybe.
If they qualify the way they did today, I think with those times they definitely maybe top 10. And they'll only improve. So
Well, you would hope they only improve. Right?
yeah, hopefully
That's the
Logan
goal,
doesn't.
to only show improvement.
See, here's the thing about Logan Sargent. He does it in qualifying, right? He'll crash the car in qualifying, and that's what puts him out because he's trying to push too hard, and because it's qualifying, he wants to place in a good spot, right? And he ends up fucking crashing or in qualifying. So at least he's not doing it mid race. You know what I mean? Like, so
Not good.
no.
Not good. And it's looking like, especially with the free practice. Now, let me ask you a question because I've been kind of seeing it around social media a little bit. Max Verstappen has gotten to the point where he's so good that people are not tuning in to watch anymore. There's no point. They already know who the victor is going to be, so it's kind of like, what's the point of watching? Some people are saying Max Verstappen is actually costing F1 more viewerships than he's gaining. Yeah, it's at this point. I mean, you're not going to tell Max Verstappen, "Hey, lose a couple of races." That was just the asinine. But at this point, that's on F1, isn't it? That's on the other teams, right?
Yeah. If you have a
That's
problem with
all
your
on
car,
them.
change your fucking car. If you got problems with your
Shame.
car, change your fucking car.
But so I'm trying to figure out, especially on the
Here's
financial
the thing.
aspect.
Here's the thing. People are tuning out because because Max is great, right? They're also tuning out because they never really liked the sport to begin with.
Hmm.
So you might see a dip in viewership, maybe, but in the long run, it'll be, you know, right back
You
up
know,
again.
it's still up there because I mean, people around the world are still
Yeah, it's
watching.
a
It's just
worldwide event.
us Americans and our attention span.
Yeah, it
If
doesn't
it
really
starts to
go
get
past
boring,
our
we just.
shores. Everything outside of our shores doesn't really exist.
I also had a quick question. Brad Pitt is filming a movie.
Uh-huh.
He's doing this during like the practices and stuff, right? He's not
Probably
going
not
to
even going.
actually be involved in the race.
No. God,
Okay,
no.
I was just making sure because from what I've been, some things that I've been reading, it sounds like, wait, he's actually going to be in the race.
No, it's
And then a
just
part
like,
of me, I was like,
you know the fighting movies? UFC fighting movies, all that stuff. They do the same thing. Like in between a card or whatever it is, they'll like go out there and get some footage or whatever, and and then you get into the actual scene, and it's 10-15 minute scene, but
So basically, Brad Pitt is trying to make practice runs look like the most epic thing in the world.
well, I mean, they'll CGI in the other cars. It's not going to look like that.
It's bullshit.
If anything, it should be Tom Cruise. I'd give him a shot.
What?
What do you mean for what? Because he can drive a Formula One car.
Of course he can. Scientology. The devil gives him all his powers. No man 5'2" should have that type of power.
I'm just gonna.
Napoleon complex.
But he can actually drive a Formula One car.
He can actually fly jet planes. I understand this, Caleb. I understand, like, the man can
And not
control
just
G-force.
not just any Formula One car. I'm talking about a V10. David Coulthard's fucking Formula One car. It's a V10. He got to drive a V10. He spun it off track, right? And then has the wherewithal to keep the car running, gets it back on track, drives it all the way back to the fucking pits. But he's sitting there, and even David Coulthard, he's putting in some lap times. Like,
It's like, hey, hold on, wait, no. You haven't been doing this for as long as everybody else has. You shouldn't
no.
be doing this shit.
It's like, what the fuck? But just the wherewithal to keep the car running.
I'm thinking they have like 10 different clones of Tom Cruise, and each one of them are good at different things.
It's a secret
You
invasion.
just kind of send them out, right? Scrolls. So from what you've seen during practice and stuff, like, I know it almost becomes like redundant because it seems like we ask the same things over and over again. Like, from practices, what are you
Well,
seeing?
shit can be different, man. I don't know.
When's the last time it was different, Joe?
Last time Max didn't finish a race.
So we're gonna have to go all the way back to last year.
Last year.
This fucking guy. I mean, it does get hard to talk about because, again, it's one of those things
Wish they just
when
put a new front wing on, and it doesn't seem to have helped them.
they came in at 8-0.
They'll get the setup right. Pre-practice 3 will show us.
We're really good at practice. Hold on. George Russell came in 12. Lewis came in 15. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I think
But
Toto's gonna lose his job.
they might even just say fuck it and go with last week's wing instead.
They're in a real shit show right now trying to figure out what the hell it is that they want to do.
Yeah, it happens. I think Horner got to him. Change your fucking car.
Shit, nothing's working. We gotta keep changing it. And then didn't Lewis go on an interview saying, like, he wishes that everybody can be able to kind of work on next year's car, like midway through the season or some shit? And then Max came back with a retort of, yeah, he wasn't asking that when he was winning fucking 7 years in a row, was he? It's just, I don't know, man. I look at it right now and I'm kind of going, we're starting to see a level of dominance right now that, of course, Lewis and stuff like that, has his run of dominance. Schumacher had his run of dominance and everything else like that. But I feel Max is like a whole different animal.
Bro, he's a different breed.
The lack of fear, the lack of just I'm gonna fucking go, and
Well, here's the
if we
thing.
connect, we
Here's the
connect.
thing.
But I'm
Max
gonna be
went.
the aggressor.
Here's how good Max is. Max is so good that he won a drivers' world championship with an inferior car. This was before they, did all the new regulations for 2022 and all that stuff. Okay, and he went out there and he won it with an inferior car. Now you give him a car that's ahead of the rest of the field, and the man
And it's
just checks
destruction.
out 10 laps in. He's already 30 seconds up. And he just takes off.
But that's what I'm saying. We can't necessarily start comparing him to Lewis until he gets up there into the numbers. Because we can't look that far into the future. But as we look right now, it looks like it's going to be another one of those strings of dominance that
Till
it has the
2026,
full
maybe.
it has the full potential to have Max Verstappen competing for breaking Lewis and Michael Schumacher's records.
Yeah, he's on pace.
But
100%. If he keeps this up for the next 2-3 years, he'll already be there.
because he's winning pretty much every single race.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
If it isn't him, it's Checo.
So that's what I'm saying. Like this level of dominance.
I don't think a
I mean,
constructor has ever put a car together that much quicker than the rest of the field. I mean, besides when the first Mercedes hit, before everybody else caught up. It's just kind of like that.
but now, like I said, it's at a point now where could we be seeing in the next? Because he's already got number 2. Right now, he's working on 3. So he needs 5 more years in a row to break Lewis and Schumacher's records, or at least for
Uh,
world championships.
yeah, for world championships. As far as
Race wins, he might get that before he gets the world championships.
maybe he's already at what, third? He's in his 40s. He just passed third and seventh.
Yeah. And he's only what, like 23,
Like,
24?
I think he's like 25.
Still the fucking
He's got a long
still
career ahead of him.
young.
He's got a long career ahead of him.
He's got at least, I mean, I don't want to say 10 years because Formula One puts a lot on the body.
Yeah.
But at least a good 8,
Oh yeah.
a strong 8.
Yeah.
Maybe more than that, but like a strong 8 just to be conservative.
Mm-hmm.
He's just, I don't know, man.
And he
I
won't
don't.
leave Red Bull. He won't leave Red Bull for Ferrari.
He doesn't like Ferrari, does he?
I don't think it's not that he doesn't like Ferrari. I just think that driving a GT40 is really gonna do something for him.
Oh, when the Ford engines and everything start coming in.
When those come out, I hope they don't put him in Focuses. I hope they put him in GTs. And like wrapped
Well,
up in
what
Red
if
Bull
they
gear.
underperform?
They won't.
What if they do?
Well, they won't.
But what if they do?
But they won't.
But what if they do?
But they won't.
He's just that faithful in Ford, huh?
Yeah.
You don't think Audi can come out of nowhere and just wipe the floor with them?
No.
No.
Still a Volkswagen.
A Volkswagen. What?
Yeah. Audi's the parent company of Audi is Volkswagen. Same
No.
with Porsche.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Just like
British.
Lincoln and Ford. Lincoln's like their luxury line.
British Grand Prix this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to talk about number one. I think that's kind of
That's given.
a foregone conclusion until
Yeah.
it's not. Um,
Barring him getting into an accident, like a really bad one, Lord forbid, right? But like, yeah.
yeah, there we go. So who's your two? Let's go two through. Let's go 2 through 10. Fuck it. Why not?
Okay, I got Max Verstappen in first.
Yeah, no shit. We know that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Start at two.
It just has to be on record. Number 2, I think Charles Leclerc. No, but Sainz has been hungry.
He won it last year.
If Checo qualifies in Q3, goes anywhere between 5 and 1 on grid position, Checo comes in second. And then it's a
I love how you
Ferrari.
said if.
And then it's a Ferrari. And then maybe Alonso. Or another Ferrari. And then Alonso. And then you have the 2 Mercedes.
You don't even know which ones.
No, but that's just what's going to happen. Unless it all goes to shit turn 1 and then,
It's not the first time.
And then from there I would have Lando.
Lando, the kid. How old is he? Like 12? He looks like he's like 13 years old.
Yeah, I think he's like 20, 21.
He looks like a fucking child. But hey, he's a good racer. Other than that,
Yeah, if you can
McLaren,
place a fucking goddamn
McLaren hasn't fucked him over yet.
in a top 5, if he can do that, oh my god. I'd want to see Lando in a fucking Red Bull. They should look into that.
And this is what I'm hearing on the streets.
If Checo don't
There's
shape up, they might go with Lando.
There's a rumor going around that Lando's getting looked at by Mercedes.
Maybe for after when Hamilton retires. I don't imagine I'll do it anytime soon. Unless Hamilton.
I'm hearing as soon as next year, as late as 2025.
Maybe.
As early as the beginning of next season or next season. That's what they're looking for right now.
Honestly, I don't.
Apparently, there are some that are not very happy with George Russell. He's not panning out the way they kind of thought he would.
Oh, they don't like George Russell?
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. This isn't even a Lewis Hamilton thing. This is a George Russell thing.
They are who we thought they were.
No, thank you, Maverick. Yeah. So
Chris,
I'm just
love this. Oh, look at she's like standing right there on the. She's like, I'm not surprised.
But yeah, like Lando, I'm a couple of things that I've seen,
We
and
like Lando though. Lando's
well,
cool.
that's what
Just
I'm saying,
you can't be a douchebag for that long
and not produce.
and not produce and then act like your shit doesn't stink.
Right.
That's
But
that
I'm
bullshit.
when I saw it, it's like, oh, some are thinking it's a long shot, but there are other people that on the inside that are really thinking about Lando because one, he's another, young racer that's really, really talented, and you give him a good car, and the
And
sky's the limit.
he's British.
Yep. So you're replacing a Brit with a Brit. So I, I'm just looking at it going, I think Lando with Mercedes would actually be a pretty good fit.
I think that would be a good fit for him too. I'd like to see him in a Red Bull without, maybe we take Checo and put him as a third
The
driver.
the the only reason why I don't put him at Red Bull is because I actually want to see him try and compete for championships against Max.
I think he could do it in a Red Bull. I think you're estimating Lando.
No, it's not so much as I don't think he can do it. It's so much of team strategy how they're going to do it. If
Not if
they're
they got a guy
paying
in the
one guy,
backup, though.
uh, well, they're just going to tell Max, hey,
Y'all are racing.
it's all
There's also also $1 million fine for every time you two wreck. If he's faster than you, then he's faster than you. Get over it.
you don't think that would make Max want to leave?
Oh, okay.
I don't think Red Bull would want to get a driver that would potentially risk Max Verstappen leaving Red Bull.
No.
I just don't see it happening.
No.
They are who we
So
thought.
the best case scenario for Lando is he lands with Mercedes. I don't even say Ferrari because I feel like they would fuck him over somehow, some way because they haven't gotten any better with their strategy calls or anything else like that.
Ferrari's not what it used to be.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I feel best case scenario for Lando would be to end up in Mercedes. Um, but if he doesn't and stuff like that, then he doesn't. But I'm hearing there's some serious consideration for Mercedes taking a look at Lando because they're not happy with George Russell. Because when I saw it, I was like, oh, Lewis might be
What?
actually out,
It's his
soon.
attitude, right?
A little bit of it, yes. He thinks he's better than Lewis.
Bro, he thinks he's better than everybody on the track, and he's like not.
But the main problem is he thinks she's better than Lewis. They didn't pick up George Russell to be, oh, we're going to have you beat Lewis.
He sure as
They
hell
picked him
thought
as
it
a.
was.
That's what I'm saying. He thought somewhere down the line, he thought,
He was
hey,
gonna be the next Lewis.
I'm going to be the. No, no, no. This is not. You were literally a fill in. You were literally a fill in because Bottas wanted out.
Yeah, Bottas was like, I'm fucking over this shit.
So he said, fuck it, I'm going to go do my thing, fucking mullet and ass out wherever it is that I want to. All right. That's what I'm going to do. So they just got George Russell because, yeah,
Well,
he's a
also
decent driver and stuff. But
Williams is the bottom team for Mercedes, just like AlphaTauri is for um, Red Bull.
for Red Bull. Right. So, well, it's going to be a very interesting race. What time does it say? It says 7 a.m. Okay, that's pretty decent time to wake up. I'm good with that. That's fine to be able. I feel like I'm going to wake up at 7 and half the race has gone by because it's actually fucking 4 o'clock this time over here, and that's 7 a.m. is actually Eastern time. Well, we'll see how it goes because Sunday is going to be a very, very big day for us, racing and otherwise.
Go on.
Bo, I appreciate you for
Go on.
coming on, giving time again, talking some Formula One, giving some insights and stuff. But we'll catch you race day, and
Yes.
we'll catch you back again next week to see what happened.
Yeah.
All right, man. Ladies and
All right.
gentlemen of the Jaffo Army,
All right.
CJP, see you, bro. Maverick, I keep forgetting you're here first. Uh, ladies and gentlemen, in the waiting room right now is a very, very good friend of ours coming in to talk about the A7FL. But before we jump into that, would you please hit the ad for our friends over at Raise Energy?
What's up, Jaffo Army? JP here of the All Pro Jaffos, bringing you a message from our proud partners over at Raise Energy. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring the consumer a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help us put your workouts and focus in general to the very next level. Perfect for anyone at any time. Raise Energy has become the most popular, the best rated energy drink on the market to date, with a phenomenal flavor profile that puts most of the competitors just downright to shame. Powered by the enhanced Refresh technology, Raise Energy delivers with a performance-enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories, which include targeted focus, enhanced recovery time, as glycogen becomes depleted, improve clean energy levels, boost in stamina and in hydration. Most importantly, each can of Raise has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. You should not have to drink or settle for any other energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, opt for the smart choice with the #1 fan-voted energy drink on the planet with Raise Energy Drink. Use the promo code ALPHARAISE at checkout to get 15% off of your order. Demand more. Join the Raise Rebellion. Let them know the JAFFOs sent
Appreciate Raise for everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaffo Army, you know him, you love him. Some of you don't. Appreciate coming up on the show talking some A7FL with the conference championships women, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Omega himself, and 1/3 of the 3-on-1 podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Corey Hammond. Well, that's K.
What's going on, gentlemen?
How's it going, Corey?
I'm good, gentlemen. I'm geared up, ready to go. I got people from Facebook claiming that they're the real voice of the league. I got guys from Sin City real pissed that the Chaos call themselves that name. I got guys from Ohio feeling like they're constantly disrespected on our show, and I think that just by default, people in Baltimore just assume that I'm rooting for them to lose, and I don't even think that they listen to me anymore. They just see my face and automatically see red. So we are in the exact spot that we need to be in for the A7 to be as exciting as it possibly could have ever been. And I don't know if I couldn't have ever assumed that I would be this okay with no New Jersey team in the championship. And I am. I'm okay. How are you guys?
I would. Oh, I mean, I was thinking about that. Going, it is kind of wild knowing that, especially since the very beginning, we've been talking about it the whole time. How the different levels on how much better New Jersey is compared to everybody else, and then to not have them being represented not just in the first ever national championship game, but not even the conference championship game. it's a little shocking. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little weird, but again, the matchups we have here are are pretty fucking interesting.
Well,
There's
well, I'll say
okay.
this. I'll answer your question, Corey. I'm doing good. Um, Josh jumped straight into it, kind of surpassed your question.
I'm doing great, Corey. I apologize.
And I like the slick back look. That's just
Yeah, I'm going with the full,
you got a baby Highlander going on right there. You almost a Duncan
I was
McLeod.
thinking some sort of swordsman. I don't know if I was going
I was
Tyson
looking
era Demon Slayer or Bleach
Terry
or
Silver from Karate Kid. Terry
there you go.
Silver. That's what we're going with.
He
Look,
went anime with Bleach. I heard that.
RTC Wilkerson said that I'm some I remind him of some captain from Black Clover, and he said Rowanora Zoro. I've been watching. I bought myself a couple Demon Slayer things. I think I might even just invest in one of those just like novelty swords.
Are you committed to slashing your left eye?
Well, I don't know if I'll go that far for the bit, but I've gone pretty far for bits. So nothing's out of the question or out of line except for what Chris Vera was talking about two other side of the ball podcasts ago at the end. And me, Rob, and Matt have officially gone from the pause to the phrasing is what we're going to try to do.
Thank you for taking ours. We appreciate it. Love to give love to give influence to people. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. As a New Jersey, New York radio guys out here, I stole it personally from Barton Hahn. Those are my guys. Now I know you guys use it too, and I've used it on here, but we would be remiss if Maverick wasn't ready for a Baker Mayfield drop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big Bake in the fucking building. Let's
go. I don't know if he's there.
That's the new Baker Mayfield.
He's not.
Listen, when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This one's the Baker Mayfield, Maverick. That's the Baker Mayfield.
Hey, he has like 3 months to just rest and relax before he is Big Bake every weekend. You got 3 months. You got 3 months, dude.
3 months. So that's fine. I can deal with 3 months from now. What do you say? I just did. Oh, he did just do that one, I guess.
So I'm just making everybody work. But listen, man, we got a lot going on this weekend, huh?
It's pretty exciting because it's turning out to be one thing that at least here, well, Kay has his obviously very strong opinions about Ohio, so he has not been shy whatsoever.
Honestly, I thought you was going to start
disapproval.
I thought you was going to start by saying that I had the All-Star game on Saturday.
Oh, you also have see?
I thought you was going to start with that. Hey, shout out to the River City Tigers. I got my picture up from when I slammed the shit out of Adam Cruz on a mean-ass sack I had. That shit was nasty. I loved it, and I was so happy because they had me stashed that fucking O-line because motherfuckers got hurt, and I hated every second of it.
Now, are you aware of the Bison semi-pro team that a lot of these Chaos guys are members of?
No, not really, because I haven't. To be honest, my team, every team that I get on that's pretty good, we're always like a game out from the chip.
Yeah.
So we never win the chip and then actually move on to nationals.
Yeah,
so,
semi-pro has a lot more teams, and it's a lot more convoluted route. But I think the point is that if we start and we talk about each division and each team and each representative, kind of like in that order for each of them, right? The Ohio division, in my opinion, I think as a division, they look to be a little bit ahead of where Florida is as a whole division, based on the fact that they have more enrollment, they have more of a hold in the market, I think, at least there. And I see that there's probably going to be growth, especially if the Chaos can pull kind of like a miracle upset. I mean, listen, I talk to
Guy's
Skyler
not having it.
all the time. He's actually somebody that I talk to regularly, and I respect him as a football guy, as a dude. He's really cool. The thing is that the history of our league is riddled with, during the expansion years, teams getting spanked like stepchildren when they step to this level, right? I think the reason that Vegas kind of gets a pass on this is because last year when they did come out in their kind of inaugural year, they beat California, which was, to me, relatively impressive. They beat the Aces last year, which was the team that came out first from the West Coast. And when they came out, they got a chance to face one of the more mid to lower mid teams in the Snow Tribe to kind of get a foothold and a little bit of confidence. But even the Force last year, who were relatively impressive in their kind of, rookie debut into the national scene, they lost to the BIC last year 62-19, and those last 6 points were kind of, garbage points against the third and fourth string. And shout outs to Pac-Man Jones, the wide receiver out there. He had a 3-on-1 return for a touchdown. So, you talk about Vegas, 62-19. California was 80-0. Florida was 77-7. And now Ohio really is, they're going to get their first turn at top level competition. And I would be real comfortable saying that the Insomniacs are, the true no Scooby-Doo villain, their top competition. And, I hope I hope that the Chaos guys are proud of the season that they put together, are into like what the league is and how it, can, lengthen and,
I think
optimize
what
your
it
football
ended.
career.
I
But
think what it ended up doing, though, like really, because the way it's kind of set up right now, it does kind of set up in Ohio's favor right now because everybody has to basically go to them. Even the Eastern Conference Championship has to go to Ohio. But even with that, as we know, the Insomniacs are traveling very well.
yeah,
So
I think,
we're
well, my thing
no, go ahead.
for Ohio is I think they're in for a similar type of game that a lot of these newer divisions, had to go through to kind of really get the scale of what we're doing here, right? It's not. I think a lot of guys, especially when you look at some of the comments on our games of the week, a lot of guys watch our league and they assume a level of kind of mediocrity. And anytime you play anything competitive, like if you go to a local YMCA and just start playing basketball, I mean, let's face it, the level of competition there is probably going to be more mediocre than special. But what happens is the further we get into the playoffs, the more guys on each squad we can talk about is like, yeah, this was his story, and this is why he's not playing on Sundays. And it's more and more a legitimate story, and it's less and less of the Uncle Rico shit that I sometimes talk about, right? So, the Chaos, I think that their time's up, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just think, based on who they are right now, they can talk all they want about how they're gonna, shock the world and do this and make that happen. But you're going to have to tackle guys better than you ever did all season. You're going to have to cover guys better than you did all season. You're going to have to block and rush guys better than you did all season. And you're going to have any quarterback, one of these quarterbacks, play the position of quarterback better than anyone has for that team all season. And what you have to do that against is by far and away the best competition that you've had a chance to even, kind of witness in person. Not just play, but I don't think these guys have even seen some of the levels of talent that we're going to see on Friday. You know, there's an NFL guy in Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie that's going to be featured in Sunday's games. And not that he's not good and not that he's not a great player. He's obviously one of the best football players that walk on the planet. I don't even know if he's the second or third most impressive guy on his own team at this point. So, you know, I think of the teams that the Chaos could play, there is no win-win situation. I think that any of these three teams are so high of a level that they were going to get in for like kind of like a spanking either way. But look, they could shock us and they could do a lot of things. I think the one thing that I will hold to form is that I've been kind of I've been comfortable saying that as flashy as Vegas likes to be about all the things that they do and they excel at, you know, off the field, presenting the on-field product, Ohio's just been grinding. So I do respect that. I've always respected that. And now we're going to find out. And I just think, you know, based on who they've been all season, it's, you know, anything can happen in a football game. But like, you know, when I showed up a lot of times for the Omegas, I knew that if we had a chance to win, we had to play perfect football. How many times can you play perfect football and then you know, summon that the first time and one and only time you ever need to be that guy? I think that's asking a lot, and if they're able to do it, you know, I give
So
them all the
then,
credit in the world.
is it really the only thing that's preventing now? Kay, I know what you're gonna say, so this isn't necessarily for you, but is it because of the lack of experience and I guess the level of talent that they've played that nobody's really giving them a chance? Or is it something deeper than that? What is it really that nobody at all is giving Ohio a chance? Because I mean, again, nobody was giving Vegas really a chance. Nobody was looking at anyone else other than New Jersey really getting a chance at this. So it's kind of like, what is it about the chaos that even what they've done during the regular season, people look at it and go, yeah, there's nothing about that that's going to surprise us on what's going to happen this Sunday.
Well, let's hear what Kay has to say, and then I'll go, because he might say the same thing.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not gonna. I'll probably say the same thing, but not as politically correct. Yeah. Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce ain't coming out there on Sunday. Them the only people that's from Ohio that got a chance to beat the shit out of Vegas. This finna get ugly quick.
Yeah, they could get Cardale Jones. They could get Joey and Nick Bosa, right?
Man, they better try to go get the fucking Cincinnati Bengals out there. Ask Joe Burrow to give them a fucking look or something. I don't know what,
or at least Chad Ochocinco, so they could have some you know, some fans.
I mean, hey, if Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie's doing it, let's get Ochocinco in there.
They better go call Pat-Man Jones too if they're gonna do that, because they got a lot of people they can call that's in the area. So, but with the team they got constructed, they just had when they played the Heist, they finna get blown the fuck out, and it's finna be ugly quick.
Did I break the show?
Nah.
Oh, okay, so so what Kay's saying is basically the truth, and like he said, he's not going to sugarcoat it as much as I will, but it's just, you asked all these questions, Jay, right? You said this is it this is the, and kind of like the answer is just yes, right? At this point,
it's like it's all of that.
At this point, I think it's yes. You know, they don't have the experience in this game to kind of have a plan to put together that is unstoppable, right? There's not very many unstoppable plans in 7-on-7 because it's more isolated football, in which you got to really just win the one-on-one matchup that the design of your offensive play, or your defensive play, kind of puts your playmakers in position. But I think more importantly, I said it as harshly as I could without being a total dick. If you play anything and you play at a certain level your entire time playing that sport, that game, just think about it. If you're playing Call of Duty, after you let your wife play, and my wife is actually, she's probably laughing because she's better at me at Call of Duty. But let's say you let your wife play on Call of Duty and she gets your kill death ratio down to like 0.5. And all of a sudden you're playing on those servers and everybody's, kind of, not that great. And all of a sudden you start getting nukes and shit. Right. And you go 30-0 and you start nuking everybody. And then you start doing victory laps because the lobby you're in is under 8-year-olds and guys with like a total of 3 fingers. You're going to look great. You're going to win. You're going to have great statistics. But one of the telling statistics that I hear all the time is the Chaos talk about how they've really only played like 12 quarters all season. That's not a positive. You can't tell me that they're prepared to face the Insomniacs after playing a JV schedule where they're blowing teams out. And the first time they ever like had to break a sweat, whether their roster was full or not, whether guys were not there or guys were injured or guys had splinters or guys, were negotiating contracts or whatever the reason was, guys were not in games. Their championship game against a team in the Heist that last year lost to Snow Tribe before Snow Tribe lost to the Force. And they go into overtime and have to win it on a dramatic like pick 6 at the end of the game. Championship teams have slip ups, but I think that was more of
the Heist caught him on a bad day, maybe.
Well, will the real Chaos please stand up? And I think that's more representative of who the real Chaos are than a team that only allowed to that point 6 points all season. I respect the Chaos as a team and their defense. I don't think that they're going to hold the Insomniacs to less than 20 points. And if you objectively look at their offensive film, now, not saying that they haven't had plenty of time to figure something out, and maybe they did, but if you objectively look at their offensive film, I don't see 20 plus points on offense that they can score. They had trouble against the Heist. And not that the Insomniacs are this great defense that everybody should fear, but
they're better than that.
What we saw in a
Uh-oh. He throws up.
Yeah, I think that's Corey's stuff messing up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I just answered the question. Yeah, the Insomniacs are averaging 50 points a game, damn near. Let's just keep it real. Them boys ain't even score 20. I think that's the simplest way we could put that shit until Corey get back. I told you, I'm not sugarcoating any of that shit. Them boys is about to get blown the fuck out. Hey, look, it's been a good season though. Like we appreciate y'all for entertaining us these Sundays. You know what I'm saying? Like we really love that y'all been coming and doing y'all thing. You know what I mean? We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But
it's like appreciate
the buck
the
has stopped here.
Corey's gone out for the. Hopefully he gets back in, so we'll see how that goes. But I mean, yeah, no, it's.
He's backstage.
I was just trying. Oh, is it? Did it go? Boom, boom, boom. There it goes. There we go. Now you're good. Still can't hear you though, for some reason. Uh-oh. He's gotta. I think he's gotta do it again. Just give him a second. But yeah, no. what he's saying isn't necessarily wrong. I'm just trying to figure out like meaning why everyone. It's pretty much a consensus that it's going to be an ass whooping. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just trying to figure out what exactly the reason is. And all right, can I hear you now? Let's see. Hey, Corey. Nope.
The talent level one-sided, and that shower cap that one player wears ain't gonna be enough to give them enough juice to score enough points. And American Sign Language is so far removed from my abilities. I wouldn't be able to help you with that one.
I don't know. So it whatever. Okay, you might have to reboot or something. Um, yeah, I don't know what he's gonna have to do, but yeah, no, because the Insomniacs, we've seen them all year, and again, they're going to be traveling. As far as I understand, they're going to be traveling very well, and then they're going to get the chance to also witness.
There we go. Can you guys hear me?
There we go. Yep, I can hear you now. Now that works. But they're also going to get a chance to see, and even the Insomniacs are going to get a chance to see the Watchmen and the Nightcrawlers
Breaking
take
again?
each other on before them. No, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Skylar Hurd and Brent Smothers they kind of tapped into my feed and are upset with the words that I'm saying. But long story short, Chaos, if they win, then we have some receipts to live, kind of answer to. But I think
Oh no.
If the chaos win, I'll buy merch. Fuck that. I'll say it. I'll buy merch and wear that motherfucker. Wear it to the championship because y'all look. That'll be my bet. If y'all win, I'll buy merch and wear it to the championship. There it is. But
yeah,
there's absolutely no way in hell that's gonna happen. So I'm gonna be able to be neutral as shit. So do your thing.
yeah. I mean, if the game on Sunday was the winner was whoever had the best kind of swag, because the Chaos have that sick flag. They have that mask that they wear. They'd win, but since it's a football league and it's going to come down to them having to beat Scooter Hamilton, RTC, Davik, and Trey Robinson, who started. I always love to talk about how he started your guys' show off with a bang, but a different letter in between.
Yep.
I honestly,
That was a highlight.
I try to when I look at these things, I try to approach like, how could this happen?
But so when we look at the night, so I mean, obviously we've talked about, we know the Insomniacs are probably going to blow out, the Chaos. But when we look at the Watchmen and the Nightcrawlers, there's still bad blood there from the Nightcrawlers' point of view from last year. They've, obviously boosted their roster, but the Watchmen, I feel like this is a much tougher game to call just based on the fact that we haven't seen too much of the Nightcrawlers to really know how dangerous they can be.
I mean, I would say every single word that I just said about the Nightcrawlers. I mean, about the Chaos to the Nightcrawlers. Honestly, if we didn't see them last year in the same spot, kind of live up to, the hype, because last year, let's say like a year and like a month ago, I got a call from a guy that's on the Nightcrawlers, and the Nightcrawlers at the time, they were 2-3, and he called me and he said, "We're gonna beat BIC." And when he said that, I said, "Look, buddy, I appreciate the confidence, but you guys haven't even been able to beat your own division, and your division is trash." Now, since then, and since they were 2-3. They haven't lost a game in Florida because as soon as Mark Bagway was a member of their roster, there hasn't been a team other than Rare Breed, the team that beat them in the playoffs last year, that has been, you know, close enough to say that they even participated in the game. The Nightcrawlers are blowing every team out except for there was one instance, I think, where the game was relatively close for most of it. You know, Devon Gray, the quarterback for the Orange, will remind you any chance that he get of the time that they almost beat the Nightcrawlers with Mark Bagway. But all of the things we're saying about Ohio, we said last year about the Nightcrawlers. And what the Nightcrawlers did in their kind of lead-up game, right? We could call the chaos game against the Heist a lead-up game. 18-12, they win in overtime, Ohio championship. What the Nightcrawlers did last year in their lead-up game is they beat the playoff, the Baltimore playoff team, the DC Buzz. They beat them like 58-30. So we were kind of on a different timing with them because we'd seen them do some things, and we kind of had this preconceived notion of who Mark Bagway was based on his reputation in the flag circles. And you know, I hate flag, and I'm constantly slandering flag, but the fact is that a lot of our top players love football and they play all year round, and they're, you know, some of our best players are big parts of the flag community. So they kind of knew who this team was and who the best players on this team were. So I think it's interesting. When you look at that game, there's two things going on. There's the fact that the Rare Breed, the Baltimore team, did win. So the Nightcrawlers have that revenge factor. But I think it's just as important to understand that, you know, the coverage of Baltimore all offseason was that they basically lost to the Nightcrawlers and the U in the playoffs. And they've been having to eat that the Florida team was better than them. The only reason that they won is because Florida was dancing. They've had to eat that all offseason too. So even though they came out on top of that game, I would say that there's a revenge factor too, because even though they earned the right to move on in the playoffs last year after that game, I don't think anybody respected that win and said that, oh yeah, that's a really good team that you know, won a really tough game. We said that the Nightcrawlers won that game, were better that day, and blew it. So, you know, I think it's a revenge story, because if you go into the inside the A7FL, if you guys want to, you know, film the first part of the documentary in a couple of weeks when we're all down there.
Would love to.
The inside the A7 story, if you talk to the right Baltimore guy, he'd say some of their motivation is the disrespect that even they felt, and rightfully so or not, that they felt even from the league itself. And they've used that, they've galvanized, they've kind of been, it's a us versus them mentality. And you know, similarly to the way that Vegas kind of talks about it, except for Vegas as a division, they split their whole division up into 8 teams. Baltimore had one team represent the city, and one team was representing the District of Columbia. So, you know, for me, that game really is going to be the tale of, you know, the better difference makers versus the better roster. And I think it's just, it would be hard for you to convince me unequivocally that the Watchmen's roster has enough holes in it, if those guys are on the same page and can keep that kumbaya thing going on, that the Watchmen's roster has enough holes in it that the top level, like, difference makers for the Nightcrawlers can make that big of a difference to come out on top of a team in the Watchmen that I will say if they didn't lose to BIC, I don't think anybody would have questioned if they were the number 1 seed in the league. We gave the Insomniacs the number 1 seed all year in our top 10 because they took care of the business in front of them. But you can't argue that the strength of schedule for the Watchmen isn't way better and way more impressive than what the Insomniacs did. Now, game control, the Insomniacs had better game control all season. But I think the Watchmen being tested over and over again by teams that do have similar styles, including BIC, I think it opened up their eyes to some of the weaknesses that they had. And it also strengthened their resolve so that, when they get to this game, it's going to be really tough for the Nightcrawlers, in my opinion, to win this based solely on the skill of their defensive standout in a certain PhD Dr. C, and their all everything top flag quarterback Mark Bagway, who is special. But if you ask me, I don't know how much more special a guy can be if you've looked at John Gauze and Rakeem Chaney and the way that those two guys have been playing quarterback for the Watchmen. Mark Bagway might be a guy that scores on every drive, and that would probably win this game. I don't think personally, I don't think he's so much of a difference maker, whether he's playing wide receiver or quarterback or whatever. I don't think he's so much of a difference maker that the Watchmen have, to look at themselves as the underdogs in this game.
Yeah, no, it is one of those, and again, we know that the talent that they have with the Nightcrawlers, because again, we saw it at the end of last year, and then we saw bits and pieces of it this year. But again, we've talked with DK Butcher, we've talked with plenty of people around the league, and I don't know. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a blowout, but I do think that this has the makings of being a possible A7FL Classic, to be completely honest.
I think it has everything that it would take. It has the premium top-level players. It has the storyline to go behind it. I think it has a clash of styles that's really interesting. And I think it has the level of the actual level of competition in the season. It's not just like week 6, So the thing is that when we put put these teams to the test, I'm about to go dark 30 mode in a second. When we put these teams to the test, I think it's interesting to see which teams, consistently show that they kind of have what it takes to be that kind of a team, right? Most of these dudes are still real dudes at the end of the day. So a lot of what the separation, in my opinion, of good and great guys in this league isn't the preparation. It's not the scheme that they're put into that kind of, enhances or exponentially increases their ability to play this game. There's certain dudes that are just that kind of baller. And I think on both sides of the ball for both teams, they have those guys. But I will say this, I've seen the Watchmen guys play at this level week in and week out, and it's special. I don't know if I've seen a commitment or consistency from guys on the Nightcrawlers to say that, there's no way that they don't show up. I mean, they're going to show up. They're going to be there, and I think they're going to make big plays. But I think for me, the real takeaway and the real key, because if it's a tight game, this is what it's going to come down to for me. The first team that starts screaming at each other on the sideline and starts blaming each other, they're likely going to lose. Because once you start doing that, once you become that type of kind of frantic, the reason you a lot of times are like that is because you're starting to feel the bring to your team or to the season. You feel it slipping away. Like once you start feeling it slip away and guys don't have the answers and they start blaming other guys, especially from the leadership positions, you can't bounce back from that, in my opinion. And the story of town beef was always the first team to start screaming at each other usually loses. Um, and
That kind of comes with all aspects, and I think all levels of football. Whenever you see the team imploding, it's definitely, oh, yep, you can
yeah,
basically
it's
stick a fork in them. They're done.
well, once they start imploding, it shows that they are starting to feel like they're about to lose. And part of being able to overcome the adversity is the belief in yourself, the confidence in yourself, and confidence in your teammates. And once teams start losing that, it becomes an issue. So I will say this: the one take that I've been consistent on with the Watchmen, and something that it makes me a little leery of the super team stuff, right? If they get in a situation where let's say they're down by a touchdown or two, I mean, they could come up and fix that. But the way that they've kind of operated all season is that from a place of them being successful, they've been sharing the reps, they've been sharing the time. Everybody gets kind of like equal, input into how the game goes. They might be the Watchmen with more depth. They might be the one that if they start to lose, they start screaming at each other because there's more guys that feel like that's their role.
Mm.
Because the one thing about having a super team is when you're sharing reps with guys that should be starters, when you need to decide between one or the other in a do or die situation, how comfortable is the guy that's not on the field going to be with the decision? You know, and we always talk about it in the way that that me and Matt go and Rob go back and forth on the two quarterback thing. We always talk about it in that instance. But even at offensive line, even at running back, even at defensive back, if there's guys that feel like they should be the one out there, and for whatever reason they're not, and they start to make it about them, and they start to be the ones that kind of poke the bear on the sideline, that's something that can happen with these super teams.
Yeah.
We'll see. I haven't made picks anywhere else, so this is a JAFFOs exclusive.
Let's go.
Because I gotta head up out of here. So first of all, I appreciate
Yes,
you guys
sir.
having me and letting me
Anytime, man.
ruin the podcast for that little like 3 to 4 minute period. I didn't ruin it for 40 minutes. I only ruined it for 3 minutes. I was on for 40. So I ruined it by being on for 40, but that's my way. That's my thing. You guys invited me to ruin it. So
Oh, we
I'll leave
appreciate
you
it
with
every time.
this. All pro JAFFOs exclusive. My picks for the game, if you put them on wax, are RTC over, hammer the over 86.5 yards on the ground. The
Damn.
Insomniacs over 1.5 3-on-1 returns. Keno Thomas, the quarterback for the Chaos, under 98 yards passing.
Makes
And
sense.
I think my number one take is that the Logo Davis experiment, he's going to be under 100 yards passing as well, because I think what the Nightcrawlers are going to do is they're going to go with mostly Bagway at quarterback. Now I could be wrong. That's the one that I might be the most wrong on, but I've said that I'm not picking anything all week, but you guys got the exclusive. So you're going to hammer the RTC over on the yards. You're going to hammer the under on Keno Thomas passing yards. You're going to go over on 3-on-1 returns for touchdowns for Vegas. And I'm gonna go under passing yards, under 100 passing yards for Logo Davis, the other quarterback, the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Nightcrawlers. So how's that for picks?
No, that works perfectly. I was going to ask you who you think was going to win, but that's even better.
Yeah, I've
I
been
don't know.
doing this
I don't
thing
know
where
if you can go that far though.
well, I can, but I'm trying to do this thing where I'm teaching these guys because I ask guys all the time, like when they're on our show, I'm like, what's your take on what's going to happen Sunday? And then they're like, what? You're going to ask me if I'm going to lose? I'm not going to lose. I'm like, that's not what I asked you. You could answer it in any way you want. Like if you just have to, if I just backed you into a corner, that's fine.
It's been fun. But Corey, again, man, every single time we appreciate you coming on. We can't wait to get down there to hang
Yeah, it's
out
going to
with
be
you
fun,
guys
man.
and enjoy a championship weekend.
And for all of the fans out there, find a way because Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's something to be involved with because you could be a part of this weekend, right? You could play in the esports tournament. You could play in the flag tournament. You can watch Matt Matt run. tinyurl.com/A7FL merch. Run Matt run. Did you see the pick?
I did, and I loved every bit of it.
My wife she really got creative with this one. So I'm happy and proud of that she's involved in our league the way that she is.
Hey, good
And
job.
for now 45 minutes I've been ruining your guys' show. So
Yep.
I'll sign off saying this. Good luck to the chaos. May they create as much chaos as they think that they can. And if they're about it, then they'll be about it, and then we won't have to, slander their names anymore.
Make Casey Cox fall on his fucking face.
Wait.
I'll try.
See you later, Corey. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. She said something about Casey right there. Uh, probably a dig somehow, some way. But Corey Hammond, always great to have him on the show to talk A7NFL. This weekend is jam packed. It's gonna be epic, to be completely honest. It's the Nightcrawlers versus the Watchmen, the Chaos versus the Insomniacs. Winners of those games meet each other in Bullhead City, Arizona, for the first ever A7FL national title game. Um, Eastern Conference, Western Conference. It's I'm excited, man. I'm really excited to see how this whole thing turns out. And we are where we stand, and we're I think we know who we're gonna pick when it comes to the Western Conference. So I want to make it the more difficult decision. Who do you think wins between Baltimore and Tampa Bay?
Uh, to be honest, I really don't know.
It is tough because again, we haven't. I mean, to be honest, it's been tough picking the Eastern Conference side of things the entire time. Um, but we got to do it, man. We got to pick it. We've got limited film and limited things that we've seen with the night crawlers, and we've seen the Watchmen all season. We've talked to DK Butcher on the show. We've seen everything that they've done week in and week out, and yet it's still hard. We've seen more of one team, yet it's still hard to pick. And people are going to say the Nightcrawlers just because DRC is on the team, but you can ask anybody. One guy is not going to complete the team. One guy is not going to do everything for the team. But was up. It's like, okay, we're starting to have some problems. Well, we're going to be hopping off real soon anyway, but we obviously know that the Insomniacs are our pick for the Western Conference Championships. Um, for me, uh, and it is, yeah, it's a difficult thing, but I gotta go with what we've seen on film, and that's just for me. It's gonna be the Watchmen. No disrespect to the Nightcrawlers whatsoever, but the Watchmen are the team that I'm picking to win the Eastern Conference Championship to go to the first ever national title game. So again, ladies and gentlemen, go on a7fl.com and look at the tickets. Use the promo code A7FL early to get 20% off of your order. Enjoy the weekend. There's still time. There's a few days left to sign up for the combine for that weekend. It's a $65 fee. And not only do you get the combine, you also get that pays for your entries to all the events throughout the weekend. So get in there. You guys have until the 10th to do it. But if you're not going to do that, there's plenty of things that you can sign up for. There's an esports tournament, flag football tournament. There's an indoor football league game that's going to be happening. So there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be happening in that weekend that we're really excited and we're glad we're going to be a part of. Be able to hang out there with everybody from the 3-on-1 and the other side of the ball.
Literally,
So
when you asked me
get
that
there.
question, my fucking computer died.
I know it usually happens that way. So you
So
have to pick one, man. I know it's tough, but
yeah, no, I got that. I'm just saying, like, that shit's hard because we haven't seen enough of Florida, but I think I'm gonna slide with the home squad on this one. B-Mo, I fuck with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I fuck LJ Young, legend out of Pompano. You know what I'm saying? OBJ, you know what I'm saying? I want to try them crowd kicks at Joe's. I want to stay at the Chateau. I want to see what he's talking about. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, that's DC, huh? That is DC, huh? The Chateau. I'm tripping. All right, so Baltimore, y'all got to figure out what y'all got going on and let me know. Tell me what the good spots to go to, because I ain't trying to be in danger, stranger danger. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? But no, I'm going to go ahead and slide with the home squad. I mean, y'all, you know what I mean? You can change my mind. Ain't no
I mean,
disrespect. I ain't saying
I
you. I'm
picked
talking
the
about them.
Watchmen. So no,
I mean,
yeah, no, I was saying
I
I
wasn't
picked
talking
the
about y'all.
Watchmen.
I was more or less talking about them. That's what I was just saying. Like,
We actually have a difference in choice here, so that's good.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, man, like you know, Baltimore. They, like I said, they might have blown that clip, but they might have not. You never know. Or Florida might
See
be
how
too
it goes.
rested. You never know. Like that's you know.
Also true. They
So
have
that's
been
why.
very well rested up until, but then other times the bye week has been an Achilles heel for some teams. So usually the team that's still warmed up from the week before and everything, or has the more recent game, is the more game ready.
But you got a
Um,
flag football champion and an NFL player that's gonna teach y'all how to stay warm during those times.
also true.
So
It's also true.
that's what I'm banking
Gonna
on.
be
Florida warm. Your muscles gonna be warm. You're gonna go to shit Ohio. It's still hot right now. So
gonna be hot
but
as shit. It's also gonna be very hot there in Arizona and stuff if everyone's deciding to go down there. So uh, dress and pack accordingly and stuff like that if you guys are gonna be making it for that weekend. But a lot of things are going down. Don't take my word for it. Go to a7fl.com and check everything out for what's going to be happening in 3 weeks now. A little less than 3 weeks.
no, it's
It's
2
going to
weeks,
be
dude.
two
It's two
weeks.
weeks from now.
Damn, 2 weeks from now. That's coming up quick, people. So get that taken a look at. And then we've got the another A7FL Playoff Edition Top 5 dropping tomorrow before the Conference Championship game. We've done round one, round two. Now the semifinals are going to be dropping. And then obviously the Conference Championship game. And then our top 5 plays from the championship game, which will be a very different vantage point from how we're going to kind of try and do that one. So there's a lot of things to be done. Everybody stay tuned. We appreciate the hell out of every single one of you guys for hanging out with us on this lovely Friday afternoon. Stay cool. It's going to be hot, people. Um, Appreciate CJP, Caleb, for coming on talking F1, Corey Hammond, obviously, for talking A7FL. From the All Pro JAFFOs, myself, JP, for the 610 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country K. We will see you guys next time in the Marvelous Maverick in the background. I'll see you, Maverick. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Deuces.